Very good morning to you and welcome to the Morning Outlook Report. I'm Rachel Jones reporting live from Kalkine TV Sydney studios. Now this morning the Australian share market is expected to extend its losses. According to the latest SPI futures, the ASX 200 is likely to open 54 points lower, that's 0.8% lower. At the closing bell yesterday, the S&P ASX 200 was 0.2% higher, or 14 points up at 7,065. Now the best performing sector yesterday was healthcare, that was up 1.7%. The worst performing sector was financials, that was down 1.1%. Now the best performing stock yesterday was Lifestyle Communities. Their shares closed 15.1% higher at $13.96. The worst performing stock was Link Administration Holdings. Their shares closed 15.1% lower at $4.22. Now looking to some business news from this morning now, and the Commonwealth Bank has reported unaudited statutory NPAT of $2.3 billion in the March quarter, and that's despite income easing 1%. Now compared to the March quarter of last year, the bank grew home lending by 8.5%, household deposits by 13.5%, business lending was up 12.6%, and business deposits by 13.5%. Now with continued growth in household deposits, home loans and business lending and deposits, that was the feature of the quarter. The group maintained strong balance sheet settings and paid $3 billion in half-year dividends to shareholders. Moving on, in cloud-based accounting software platform Xero reported a net loss for the 12 months through to March of 9.1 million New Zealand dollars, compared with a 19.8 million New Zealand dollar profit a year earlier. Operating revenue increased by 29% to $1.1 billion, and total subscribers increased by 19% to 3.3 million. Xero's acquisitions of Planday, Tickstar, TaxCycle and Locate Infantry were completed in financial year 2022 and are making good progress. An explosives group, Orica, reported a rise in revenue of 25% to $3.3 billion for the half year to the end of March, while underlying profits grew by 2/3 to $129.2 million. Now, minus significant items, the underlying net profit after tax marks an increase of 70.7%, while the statutory net profit after tax, which considers one-off expenses, saw an $84.6 million loss. Well, now it's time for a short break, but stay tuned for more news set to affect your trading day.
Crypto Talk by Kalkine. The crypto market has been red hot given the Bitcoin rally since the past year. And now the most famous cryptocurrency has got competitors, Dogecoin and Ethereum. If the crypto market excites you, tune in with me, Sage, to know the latest developments about the existing digital currencies and the new ones that are joining the race. I'll help you understand the opportunities and the risks the crypto market has in store for you. For all the digital currency related developments, continue watching Crypto Talk by Kalkine.
And welcome back to the Morning Outlook Report. Now, Wall Street ended sharply lower in overnight trade and Treasury yields fell in the volatile session as oil prices rallied and investors worried about the potential for an economic slowdown. The annual consumer price growth in the US changed to 8.3% in April from 8.5% in March, even though it was above the 8.1 analyst estimate. The Dow Jones fell 1%, the S&P 500 dipped 1.65%, and the Nasdaq ended 3.2% lower. Now over in Europe, the Stoxx 50 rose 2.6%. The FTSE was up 1.4%, the CAC gained 2.5%, and the DAX ended 2.2% lower. MSCI's gauge of stocks across the globe shed 0.88%, registering its lowest close since November 2020. Yesterday, the oil prices rose after flows of Russian gas to Europe fell and Russia sanctioned some European gas companies, adding to uncertainty in world energy markets. WTI futures settled at $105.71 a barrel. That's up $5.95 or 5.96%. Brent crude futures ended $107.51 a barrel, up 4.93%. Gold resumed its surge yesterday after a knee-jerk retreat tied to the release of US inflation data as the dollar slipped, with investors latching on to a slight cooling of consumer prices. Spot gold added 0.8% to $1,852 an ounce. And Bitcoin fell to just above $28,000 before paring some of the day's losses to trade at 29,810, which would mark a 5.7% decline for the day. That's according to data from Bitstamp.net. Well, that's all for our Morning Outlook report here on Kalkine TV. Have a great day trading and stay tuned for more market updates and economic news live throughout the day. This is Rachel signing off for now.